Butter go crazy.
Country need another one. They like country need another one. Quasi going crazy.
Okay, turn me up. They don't want no smoke, I'm in my bag. Bitch, I'm rolling up. They say this shit hot. Hot, bitch, I'm burning up. Yeah, let's talk some business. Ain't no money, I ain't showing up. Don't know how to act. A bunch of country niggas pulling up. Okay, turn me up. Now they say they want that country shit. Okay, now turn me up. Now they see I be that energy. I make them turn me up. Yeah, I know they tryna finish me, but it just turn me up.
Turn me up, Jay.
Fresh to death on camouflage. Gotta keep a foot up on their necks cause they might sabotage. I ain't come for peace, I brought the mask, bout to terrorize. Step. If you ain't hating, nigga, keep that bullshit to yourself. Get my bop on you niggas. Don't never question if I'm a real nigga. I get a lot for you niggas. Bitch, they thought I was finished, but I got a lot for you niggas. Lil John on them niggas. I'm the Braun on them niggas. I'm the hottest in the business. Okay, put me in the mix. I can tell you used to lame.
YouTube, what's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And today's live is going to be on 12 players that you must start. Now, listen, these are not obvious guys. I'm not going to talk about CMC. I'm not going to talk about Justin Jefferson. I'm not going to talk about upper echelon guys. What I'm going to talk about is a few guys that are pretty they are must starts, but some of these guys are going to be borderline guys. Guys that should I start them? I got a tough matchup. So I'm going to give confirmation. Now, listen, I'm not 100% right on everything, but I believe that I am 70% correct on all of my content that I put out as far as making a prediction, or I would say an educated prediction. So, guys, with no further ado, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. So I will be checking the likes, guys, because yesterday we had 40 people in the chat, and I only had 23 likes when I logged off. So usually I checked it, but I did not check it yesterday. So before I get started on my 12 players, let's talk about some news. So anybody just coming in and you streaming this video, I'm going to go over some news for us today, and then I'm going to get to my 12 players. And if you watch the whole live, I got a bonus guy for you. And if you got any questions, put it in the comment section. Let me know that you support the channel by putting the 100 symbol. So spam the chat right now. Spam it with the 100 symbol. Let me know that you're here and you support the channel. It helps out in the algorithm. So as my guy from content creator that I listen to, he always say the HBO special. So I'm still in that right now, bro. Shout out to him. Help a brother out. So with no further ado, let me see here. All right. Marquise Brown from the Arizona Cardinals, guys, is uncertain for week 16. So that means that he's not going to play. He's been hurt for the last 3 to 4 weeks. You can't start him anymore. I told people to start him for like 2 weeks, like about a couple weeks ago, and he just ain't got no targets. He's just not healthy. So Michael Wilson might be a guy that you can pivot to. Let's see. Aaron Rodgers will not be playing this year. He officially announced it. He will not be playing this year at all. Zach Wilson still remains in concussion protocol, so I don't believe he's going to play. If you're in a concussion protocol Wednesday, I don't believe you come out of it. That's just my opinion. Jonathan Taylor has a chance to play. He's progressing well, so I believe that's going to knock Zach Moss down. They are trying to make a playoff run, so I believe that Jonathan Taylor will play. I see you, Brian. I see you, bro. Let's see here. Jamar Chase would not play Saturday. Jamar Chase is out. So if you got Jamar Chase, you're going to have to find somebody else to play. Let's see here. Trevor Lawrence will remain in concussion protocol, but he is progressing well. So that means he might have a chance to play. So Trevor Lawrence probably going to play. Let's see here. I don't want to bore y'all with some of these defensive guys. I think that might be all for us offensively right now. CJ Stroud unlikely to play. So if you have CJ Stroud, he probably is not going to play. So you're going to have to get you another quarterback. That means I'm not playing any wide receivers outside of Noah Brown. I might play Noah Brown. I wouldn't even play CJ Stroud. I mean, not CJ Stroud, but Nico Collins. Let's see here. Anything else? Chris Olave is expected to play. So if you have Chris Olave, you can play him. He's been leading that team in targets when he plays. So you can play Chris Olave. He is a wide receiver too. Chase Brown, the backup for the Cincinnati Bengals, is dealing with an injured sternum. He is dealing with an injured sternum. I see you, Q High. I see you, bro. Appreciate you. Keenan Allen didn't practice yesterday, so I doubt if he plays this week. So be ready to pivot off of Keenan Allen. And I think that's about it, guys. That's all the news that I have right now that is recent. Okay, so let's get started on the players. And like I said, guys, be patient. If you're not a member, I'm gonna go through your questions from in a time matter. So the first one's the post, I'm gonna get to you, and then the last one's the post. You got to be in that order, right? So I'm just gonna be first to last. But if you're a member, you do skip the line, or if you super chat, you do skip the line. So let's start. The first guy that you should be starting, it's kind of obvious, but I want people to know what this guy is for the rest of this season for his fantasy football playoffs. It's James Cook. Now, I've been high on James Cook the whole year, but he hasn't been balling the whole year. That's why I always talk about quadrants. You see how things turn around. Now, you have a few players, like I said, like Tyreek Hill and CMC, who balling almost every single week. But that's not, you're not going to have a team full of those type of guys. You're going to have players like James Cook where you're just going to have to start them and trust them and go down with the ship. You can't go be able to get, they're going against the Carolina Panthers, so this is when I should start them. You do that sometimes, but most of the time you don't do that. Most of the time you start your guy that you drafted early. As I say, dance with the girl that you came to the party with. Because if you start going around and just trying to pick up girls at the party, you might not go home with anything. You might go home by yourself. So if you go around and start streaming different guys at a certain position, you might miss the boom game every single time. So if you went and started James Cook the last 2 weeks, you hit. So James Cook should be a starter. And also, guys, he's playing against the Chargers. The Chargers is a great matchup. They quit. These guys is already playing their vacation. Their quarterback, Justin Herbert, is out for the rest of the season. They ready to go on vacation. So you start everybody against them. You start a DST against them. You start Buffalo. That DST against them, you start James Cook. I love Stephon Diggs. I love Josh Allen. Now, Dalton Kincaid, it just depends on what you got. They kind of moved on from Dalton right now. So they kind of going more at Stephon and James Cook and let Josh Allen, kind of push the ball around to different players. So I love James Cook. So play James Cook for the rest of this season, no matter what. All right, moving on, guys. The next guy's a tight end is Isaiah Likely. Ever since that Mark Andrews went down, Isaiah Likely has been balling. Now, earlier in the season when Mark Andrews went out, Isaiah Likely didn't play that good, and that had a lot of people nervous, even myself. I was very nervous playing Isaiah Likely when Mark Andrews went down early in the season. When he went down earlier, and he didn't play good. But now that we've seen 2 or 3 games with Mark Andrews being out, Isaiah Likely has been a top 10 tight end. So I love Isaiah Likely, guys. He's playing against San Francisco, which is a tough matchup, but I don't care. It's too many weapons to take one guy away. Lamar can beat you several ways. He can beat you with his legs. He can beat you with Zay Flowers. He can beat you with Odell Beckham. He can beat you with the run game with Gus Edwards. He can beat you himself. So Isaiah Likely's not going to be double teamed. So if you got Isaiah Likely as a tight end, you play Isaiah Likely no matter what. All right. Moving on, guys. I see you, Black Hippie. Moving on to Rashee Rice. Yes, guys, Rashee Rice. You should be starting. They're playing against the Raiders. The Raiders is not chopped liver. They are good defense, but you play Rashee Rice every week. He is the number 1 wide receiver. Travis Kelce is struggling a little bit. So now they're putting a lot of weight on Rashee Rice. So you play Rashee Rice, he's going to ball out. He's leading his team in targets. They don't have any other wide receiver that they can trust. So I love Rashee Rice. All right, moving on to a running back, my number 4 guy, and it's Devin Singletary. Yes, guys, Devin Singletary. And the reason why I love Devin Singletary, the last 2 weeks they have put the team on his shoulders, and he prevailed. This guy has went from a borderline flex play all the way up to an RB1. He's a top 12 play. He beat Cleveland by himself. That was a top 5 run defense. So you got to start Devin Singletary for the rest of the year. Now, if you got CMC, no, you can't start him over CMC. But shoot, I don't know any other running backs that you would necessarily start him over after that. You know what I'm saying? Like no Gus Edwards. And Gus Edwards has a nice matchup this week with Keaton Mitchell. But I'm starting Devin Singletary over Gus Edwards. I'm starting Devin Singletary over Aaron Jones. Like, hopefully you can start these guys with Devin, but Devin is a must-start running back. So I want to tell you about that. He's playing against I'm sorry, he didn't play Cleveland last week, but he's playing Cleveland this week. I'm sorry. So I'm willing to play Devin Singletary. I don't care what the matchup is. Moving on to my number 5 guy, and it's a quarterback. It's Matthew Stafford. with Cooper Kupp being healthy and a young receiver like Puka Nacua and this offense hitting with Kyron Williams, Matthew Stafford is a top 12 quarterback. He needs to be started every week. I'm starting Matthew Stafford for the rest of the year. I don't care who the matchup is. He's playing against the Saints. The Saints is not chopped liver, but I don't think they can stop Matthew Stafford. I'm not saying Matthew Stafford is going to be a top 5 quarterback, but I'm saying that he's a guy that will easily be a top 12 quarterback. So remember, we don't know who's going to be top 5. Look, last week, we had guys like Nick Mullins and Jake Browning and Pat Mahomes finish outside the top 12. You don't know. So you got to start a guy and trust it. You got to go down with a ship. Matthew Stafford has great weapons. I'm willing to play him. So that's the main reason. Moving on, guys, to my number 6 guy is Jackson Smith and Jigba. Yes, Jackson Smith and Jigba. And the reason why I'm willing to start Jackson Smith and Jigba is because he's taking over the Tyler Lockett role. DK is still getting his targets, but Jackson Smith and Jigba is the number 2 wide receiver on his team, and it's rookie time. And late in the season, guys, in the 4th quadrant, rookies prevail. So right now, Jackson Smith and Jigba is probably going to be scoring a touchdown in every single game. I said what I said. Geno Smith will be playing this week against Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans secondary is not that good. Their run defense is not as good as it was. So I'm starting Jackson Smith and Jigba. Number 7 is James Conner. Now, that was I told everybody to start James Conner against San Francisco. People thought I was crazy. He hit. You got to start James Conner every week. James Conner plays good against tough matchups. If you look at James Conner the last 3 years, he a top 5 running back. I'm talking about including CMC, including Nick Chubb, including any running back you want to mention. James Conner on a per game basis is a top 5 running back in fantasy football. So no matchup is going to stop me from starting James Conner, especially when Kyler Murray is at quarterback, because Kyler Murray can push the ball downfield. That's going to open up run lanes from James Conner. Also, Kyler Murray can keep the ball and take off. So that's going to always help the running back. So I love James Conner. He's playing against the Bears. The Bears defense is good. Don't get it twisted. So was the San Francisco 49ers defense good, but it didn't stop James Conner. So you start James Conner every week. Moving on to my number 8 guy. And this guy is usually a must start, but I needed to talk about him because he had a bad game against a great matchup. I still think you have to go down with the ship. You still have to start him, and it's Bijan Robinson, and he's playing against the Colts. Play Bijan Robinson. I'm not going to get into none of the analytics or none of that. He has to be played. I think the head coach is probably going to lose his job. He's not playing Bijan Robinson correctly. Bijan Robinson posed to touch the ball 20 times, just like a Jahmyr Gibbs. So, excuse me. So if you got Bijan Robinson, you start him. Don't worry about anything else. Just start him. That's all it is to it. You got to go down with the ship. That's what fantasy football is about, guys. It's not about playing the matchups. Now, I was watching some content creators. They got over 30,000 followers. And they were saying, start your studs. You just going to start your studs? I'm like, you want me to sit Bijan Robinson on a matchup? No, I'm not sitting no super talented guy like that in no matchup. Unless I got CMC and another upper and a James Cook or something. And I'm probably not going to sit him then. I better have a superstar team. So you have to start, guys. Go look, guys, at the guys that are top 12 and look what they did the week previous. They probably had bad games. Not all of them, but 5 or 6 of them, like Stephon Diggs. He ain't had a good game every single week, but you got to start him. If you sit him, you will regret it. I said what I said. If you sit him, you will regret it. So you have to start talented guys. Don't worry about the numbers per se. Maybe 3 or 4 weeks of bad numbers. That way, then maybe you can make a move. But it's got to be at least a quadrant, a 4-game trend before I make a move. If a guy is upper echelon and he's getting 8 to 10 targets or he's getting 15 to 20 carries, then you might say, well, Bijan to get 15 to 20 carries. Well, that's why Arthur Smith is going to get fired because he's not letting Bijan. So I'm guarantee you that the GM is sitting down with Arthur and saying, Arthur, we got to give Bijan Robinson 20 carries. We got to. If not, man, the owner is not liking what's going on. Arthur Blanks don't like what's going on. So I guarantee you that Bijan Robinson is going to touch the ball 15 to 20 times. If he don't, guys, I guarantee he'll be fired. Put that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I accept that. I guarantee he'll get fired. Bijan don't touch it 15 to 20. You can't draft Bijan in the first round and you only give him 7 carries against the Carolina Panthers. Are you crazy? I think this guy wants to be fired. But anyway, let's move on. My number 9 guy is Jahmyr Gibbs. Guys, I told y'all this, and I said this about B. John, so I admit that's why Arthur Smith is going to get fired. But Jahmyr Gibbs, he's a top 3 running back rest of the season. If you got Jahmyr Gibbs, you got something special. Guys, they playing against Minnesota. That's a tough run defense. Jahmyr Gibbs is probably one of the only running backs that can make this defense look subpar. I believe Jahmyr Gibbs is going to score 20 points every single week for the rest of the season. It was a David Montgomery type of backfield because they was kind of trying to leave Jahmyr Gibbs and make him be healthy for the end of the season. But right now, it's time for them to get a good seed and go on to the playoffs. So Jahmyr Gibbs is going to touch the ball 15, 20 times. I love Jahmyr Gibbs. I wouldn't feel better outside of CMC with any other running back other than Jahmyr Gibbs. So you start Jahmyr Gibbs, no matter what the matchup. He could be playing the 85 Bears. You play Jahmyr Gibbs. I said what I said. All right. Moving on, guys, to my number 10 guy, and it's Justin Fields. Yes, guys, Justin Fields. You should be starting Justin Fields for the rest of this season. And they're not going to be running the ball with their running backs. They might do it just to keep the team honest. But this is going to be a DJ Moore, Justin Fields type and Cole Kmet type game plan. So Justin Fields is going to be running the ball and throwing the ball downfield. They are playing the Arizona Cardinals. That's a great matchup for him. So if you got Justin Fields, guys, I would rather have Justin Fields than Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is struggling right now, not because he's a bad player, because of the team, right? So if you got Justin Fields and you're going against Arizona, guys, you should be smiling. Even if you, and I don't want to wish this on anybody, but even if you lose, this is an optimal start right here. You can't get a better start than this. So Justin Fields is going to be elite. You play him no matter what. Moving on, guys. We got 2 more guys, and I got a bonus guy. And I will get to everybody in the chat. So the next guy is Breach Hall. Now, listen, Breach Hall has had an up and down season. I told a lot of you not to draft him early in the season because of that knee injury. And it kind of worked out that way. But he's had some boom games, and he's getting some touches. The only reason why I'm going to Breach Hall this week, because this team is they I don't even know if Zach Wilson going to start anything. They playing against the fantasy football get-off team, and it's called the Washington Commanders. You can get off against them. Everybody getting off against them. Kyra Williams, Puka even had a decent game. He had no big game. Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford. You playing against the Washington Commanders, you're going to eat. So I have to tell you to start Breach Hall against the Washington Commanders. This is a matchup. When you playing a team like Washington, you do go to that matchup. Now, usually I'm saying I don't care about the matchup. I'm going to play my stud. But when it comes to the Washington Commanders, you got to play Breach Hall. He's going to eat. They're going to run it. They're going to give him the ball probably like 15 times. They got a lot of guys out on Washington. The corners are weak. The linebackers is out. The D-line ain't playing. They traded the whole D-line. So play Breach Hall. All right, guys, moving on to my number 12 guy, and it's Devon Achane from the Miami Dolphins. Some of you, I told you to start Devon Achane last week, and because you didn't have anything better. It wasn't a player maybe outside of Devin Singletary, which I was wrong on that one, but it wasn't really another player that you was trying to play over Devon Achane that was a good start. This week, you have to play him if he practices all week. Last week, he was kind of dealing with a foot issue or a toe issue, but this week, I think you got to play him because he's practicing. You don't want that to go off on your bench. Now, I'm not telling you to start him over a super stud or anything like that, but I do think he's a high-end RB2 and a must-start flex. That's the guy. If he give you 5 points, I think you okay. You can't leave that on your bench. They playing against the Cowboys. They need Achane. They got to win this game. They're trying to get the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed in the AFC or keep up with the Baltimore Ravens. So you can play Achane. Achane. Now, what makes me feel good about Achane, he's healthy. When Achane is healthy, he's one of the best players on the field. When he's not healthy and they talk about he might play, that's when you kind of want to get off of Achane. That's what a little trend that I have saw. He's very volatile with his injuries. So I'm willing to play Achane when he's healthy. He's practicing all week, and I haven't seen anything as far as on an injury or anything. So I'm starting Achane. All right, guys, last but not least, this is a bonus guy for everybody. Appreciate everybody being here. I see you, Marvin. I see you came in on Instagram. Hey, Come over to the YouTube, bro. Come over to the YouTube. Last but not least, guys, is Tua Tagovailoa. Now you might say, TD, you gonna start Tua against the Cowboys? Yes. If Tyreek Hill plays, I'm playing Tua. Whenever Tua has Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, I'm starting. There's no defense that can stop him. Now Tua might throw a couple picks, but where are you gonna go to? If you can't go to Justin Fields, if you got to go to a Tommy DeVito, a Jake Browning, a Nick Mullins, I'm playing Tua over those guys. Now I might start Matthew Stafford over Tua, maybe, right? It just depends on my team, what I got. But I'm trusting Tua with Tyreek Hill. I'm going down with that ship. You might say, well, Cowboys can stop him. I think I can't really explain this to you guys, but the Cowboys don't really match up good with Tyreek Hill. Nobody really matches up good. So when you have a speed demon like Tyreek Hill, it opens it up for Tua. You don't really have to worry about Tua being a great quarterback because everything's going to be open. There's going to be big windows. When Tyreek Hill comes out there, look at the windows that Tua's throwing into. I mean, huge windows. When Tyreek Hill ain't playing, they have to trust the run game. And I was so proud of Tua and Mike McDaniels to win that game without Tyreek Hill. That was probably the best game that I saw Mike McDaniels coach because he didn't have Tyreek Hill. When you have Tyreek Hill, he's a force multiplier. He opens it up for everybody. So I love Tua this week. I'm playing him. Only way there's only about 4 or 5 quarterbacks that I might play over Tua, and it might not even be that many. So let me get to the comment section. Appreciate everybody being here. Make sure you hit the like button. Let me see how many likes we got because I got to check them likes. Yesterday we had 30 people in, about 40 people in here, and I ended up like 20 likes. Come on, guys, we got to get the likes up. We got 9 likes. Okay. Siobhan says, good afternoon. What's going on with you, bro? I see you, Brian. Brian says, pick 2, Brandon Cooks, Wicks, or Noah Brown. I like Wicks if Jaden Reed is out. Then I would say Noah Brown, then Brandon Cooks. So I like Dontavius Wicks, then Noah Brown. A-Gang Grizzle says, yo, TD, who do you like more out of the Broncos and Bears D? And I need one out of Deontay, Collins, Javonte, and Spears. I'm going to go with the Broncos defense slightly over the Bears. Broncos defense slightly over the Bears. And one out of Deontay Collins and Javonte and Spears. I'm going to go with Deontay. I'm going with Deontay Johnson. Collins, it makes me nervous. CJ Stroud is not there. I don't know who to trust. I don't know if he's going to throw it to Noah Brown, as far as Davis Mills, or the other backup quarterback. I don't know who they're going to force feed it to. And also Collins is coming off an injury. Javonte is playing against the Patriots. I like Javonte, but the Patriots' run defense is good. They got a good defense. They are top 10 defense. Spears, I can't count on anybody from Tennessee right now. I like Spears, but I can't count on anybody. Yeah, I just want to see that. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to say Deontay Johnson, bro. And 4 PPR, I will go with Deontay Johnson. A-Game says leaning towards throwing Deontay out there. Right. I agree with you. I didn't even see that. Yep, I agree. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Big Will. Yes, sir. What's good with you, bro? He says, I'm not getting the notifications for the live. Shaking my head. I'll try turning them off and back and see what happens. Yeah, man. My girl said the same thing. what you have to do is click the notification bell and go to all. And sometimes it comes off. So everybody that's on the live right now, go click on your notification bell and hit all. That way you can get a notification. Ronald says, how are you feeling about Tyler Boyd? Stuck between starting him. I'm going with Wicks. But if Jaden Reed plays, then I will go with Tyler Boyd. But I like Dontavius Wicks. I love Wicks today, this week. Ronald says, what about Dalton Schultz this week? I wouldn't play him. I would go to another tight end. I would go to Tucker Kraft or somebody like that for the Green Bay Packers. Michael, what's good, bro? He says Trevor Lawrence or Baker Mayfield. I think I like Trevor Lawrence. I like Trevor Lawrence. Juice Pop, what's going on, bro? He says they just fired everyone. I probably wouldn't play a D versus Los Angeles Chargers, but I like the thought. Yeah, they just fired everyone. I probably wouldn't play a D. Yeah, I would. I would play almost any defense right now in the league, maybe except for maybe Carolina Panthers against the Chargers. But I get what you're saying. Itty Bitty says championship week, quarterback, Murray or Stafford? I'm going with Stafford. Wide receiver, Hill, Moore, Rice, Chase. Right. Pick 2. Running backs, Kyron Williams, number 1. And I'm going with JT. You said championship week. That's next week. So I'm going with Kyron Williams and Jonathan Taylor if he's active. Pick 2 tight ends, Likely or McBride. I like both of those guys. Pittsburgh or a streamer. Go with a streamer. That defense is not playing that great. I like Likely and McBride, but if I got to choose, I'm going with McBride over Likely. Yes, sir. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. Let's see how many likes we got. Come on, guys. We got to get the likes up. We got 20 people in here. I see you, Elver. I see you, Morales. Let's get the likes up. If not, if we don't get the likes up, I'll go back into talking about some of the players again. Let me see. Itty Bitty says Murray or Stafford. I'm going with Stafford. He says Hill, Moore, Rice, Davis start too. Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore. Tyreek Hill and DJ Moore. I like Rice. So you need to get Rice in there if you can, if any way possible. We got 14 likes. We need to at least get it up about 15 to 16. Anybody says Kyron Williams, Jonathan Taylor, Hall, McKinney, Warren start too. Kyron Williams, Jonathan Taylor. I see you, Brian. Hey, check your message. And the reason why, guys, I'm skipping to go down to Brian. We need to do a live together. He is a champion of one of my leagues. Brian, hit me up, bro. You need to come up and do it. If you can do it tonight, that'll be awesome. If you can't, then we need to set it up soon. So you can go and show everybody the ring and also talk about some of your some of the moves that you make in fantasy football. You're a great fantasy football player, bro. Great fantasy football player. So hit me up. I texted you earlier. Big Will says, do you think the Eagles DST versus the Giants is better than the Packers? No. The Packers versus Carolina. I'm chasing the Carolina Panthers. Listen, and I want to be safe saying this. I'm gonna try to say this in a safe way, but Carolina is like the girl in high school that everybody know if you take on the date, you're gonna get a happy ending. And I say that with all due respect. So you want to go here, hey, you know, if you date her, you already know what it is. You go hit. I'm telling you, that's what it is, bro. So you gotta chase the Carolina Panthers. You gotta play that. Oh, buddy, let me stop before I get my channel flag. Brian says, are we starting Zeke if Ramondre is out? Yes, it just depends on what else you got on your team. It depends on what else you got on your team. Okay, let me see how many likes we got. 17 likes. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Master Samuel says golf or Browning. I'm going with golf. I don't want to play Browning in that. I think Browning can do okay, but I don't want to play that rival game. Steelers could come out and win that game. Jalen Warren probably gonna touch the ball 15 or 20 times, and I need to do a video on Jalen Warren. This is probably not a breakout game for Jalen Warren, but this might be a real big game for Jalen Warren. Najee might not get no more than about 8 to 10 carries. So I'm a little bit nervous with playing the Bengals. No Jamar Chase, just T. Higgins. Joey Porter matches up great against T. Higgins. He's a long, tall corner. They probably gonna man him up on T. Higgins and make Tyler Boyd beat them. And maybe try to see if they can run the ball. And they may be able to run the ball against Pittsburgh Steelers. They got Cameron Hayward out, and that defense has been giving up some big runs. So I would go with golf. I think the Vikings secondary can be had. I can see the golf throwing for 2 touchdowns, one to Jahmyr Gibbs, one to Amon-Ra, and Jahmyr Gibbs also having another rushing touchdown. Close game. Oh, bro. Big Will said, well, I guess I'm going to hit. Oh, buddy. I needed that laugh. I needed that one. Let's see. Itty Bitty says likely or McBride. I'm going with McBride over likely, slightly. Stan Steves, what's up, bro? Top of the morning, bro. 9 PPR. Waddle, excuse me. Waddle or Rashee Rice? I'm going with Rashee Rice. I'm going with Rashee Rice. Ali says, we feel good about Gibbs and Pollard this week. I feel great about Gibbs. Pollard, he's a top 24 running back at the best. I think he can beat the Miami defense. But I feel great about Gibbs. Gibbs is a top 5 running back to me. I have Jonathan Taylor and Chuba as well. I would start. Let me see. Let me make sure, bro. If Jonathan Taylor plays, bro, I'm starting him over Pollard. I like Pollard. I just can't trust him. But I would go with Jonathan Taylor, man, if he plays. Now, if Zach Moss is going to play too, then that might kind of worry a little bit. But I think I'm gonna go with Zach. I think I'm gonna go with Jonathan Taylor over Chuba and Pollard. Yeah, Brian. Hey, hit me up. Text me. I'm gonna get to your comment. I see it in the bottom, but hey, text me. Let me know because if tonight is good and you free, we can do it tonight. If not, we can need to do it before the Christmas break is over. So just let me know. But hit me up, Brian. Appreciate you, bro. Jonathan says Aaron Jones, Monty, Walker, Chandler. Who would you sit? Monty. I would sit Monty. What's up, cuz though? He said, yes, sir. Wish I had him. I think he's talking about Jahmyr Gibbs. Martin Castillo. Yes, sir, bro. Cutting edge. 100. Appreciate it. G-Man says, you think Jacob plays? He might not play rest of the year. Why risk worse injury? It just depends on how he need to get that bag. Like, if his money already guaranteed him, I doubt if he plays. But either way, I'm not playing Zamir White. I wouldn't play Zamir White this week. That's just me. Okay. Okay, Brian. All right. Appreciate that, bro. Siobhan says, I grabbed Wicks off waivers. Yes, sir. That's hey, I love him this week, especially with Jaden Reed being out. Wicks, guys, is a good player. The Packers, I'm gonna tell y'all something. If you in Dynasty, and I hate to say it because I got Brian in here. He's in 3 or 4 of my leagues. Great player. He's won a championship and on his way to win another championship in one of my other leagues. So he's a good player. But I'm gonna give him some advice. If he probably gonna take it. Buy low on all the Green Bay players. Now, I wouldn't say AJ Dillon. He might be somewhere else next year. But those wide receivers like Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Luke Musgrave, Jordan Love, those guys are going to be nasty for the future. This is going to be a great team. I love Dontavius Wicks. I think he's going to be probably the wide receiver 2. Maybe Romeo Doubs be the slot guy. I think he's going to overtake Romeo Doubs. I think Romeo Doubs is going to be like the number 3 or number 4 wide receiver. It's going to be Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Dontavius Wicks, and then Romeo Doubs. Itty Bitty says, this is my championship week. Okay, I got what you're saying. So, yeah, bro, I would play JT. Those are the guys that I told you, I'm still playing those guys. I didn't tell you anything outside of looking at the schedule for next week. Those guys still got great matchups this week. Brian says, hold on. I'm sorry, Will. He says, do you think the Eagles DST versus the Giants is better than the Packers? No. Okay, we did that already. Yeah, play the Packers defense. Brian says, what's up, bro? Let's get it this week. Yes, sir. We got to play. Me and Brian right now is playing to go to the championship. We playing to go to the championship. He beat me last year in it was the same matchup. He beat me by like 3 points. I had Michael Parsons go like for 5 points. Michael Parsons has given me 40 points almost every game. He goes out and gives me 5 points. I lose by like 3. Brian swept it. Now I whooped you. I was like, okay, that's fine. By 3 or 4 points? But hey, that's how fantasy works. Ronald says starting Tyler Boyd over Tyler Lockett. I can understand that and I respect that. I don't know. I need to look at Tyler Boyd breakdown with Jake Brown. I haven't looked at it enough, bro, to give you that reassurance. I need to do more research. So I would tell you to do this. Go do research and look at his targets. If he's getting 6 targets a game with Jake Browning, then I would do it. Even though Jamar Chase is going to be out. Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd are two different type players. Jamar Chase can get more separation. Tyler Boyd is a great zone killer. So if he's been already giving targets to Tyler Boyd, then I would play him. But I wouldn't go there if he hasn't been giving them targets. So only play Tyler Boyd if he's getting the targets. You know Tyler Lockett is going to get 5 or 6 targets regardless, even if JSN is taking some of his targets. But I understand why you would want to play Tyler Boyd. He looks like the number 2. He's consistent. Just make sure he's getting enough targets so you can play him in a championship chase, right? I don't want you to play a guy like a Tyler Boyd and he's not getting enough targets. That's all I'm saying. Itty Bitty says Rice or Hall in the flex. Rice or Hall. I'm going with Rice and full PPR. I love Breach Hall with his matchup against the Washington Commanders, but I got to go with Rice. Rice is balling out of his mind. And I like that he ain't getting like number 1 coverage. They still trying to take away Travis Kelce, so that makes me feel good about starting Rice. So I'm going to still say Rice slightly over Breach Hall. Ronald says, you starting Wicks over Tyler Boyd, Josh Palmer, and Curtis Samuel? Maybe not. It's between him and Curtis Samuel. Dontavius Wicks and Curtis Samuel. I'm probably starting Wicks. With the matchup against the Carolina Panthers, I'm probably starting Wicks over Curtis Samuel if Jaden Reed doesn't play. Ronald said, he said you gonna hit. Oh, buddy. Brian says, lost Chase, needs some flex help. Start 2, flex. Komet, likely McCoy, Davis, Thielen, Wicks. Pretty rough. I know, Lafayette. Thanks for the cutting edge content as always. Anytime, bro. I'm gonna say McLaurin and Wicks. McLaurin and Wicks. Sal, what's going on with you, Sal? Glad to see you here. He says, I got Josh Allen as a starter in golf on my bench, but I'm hesitant to start Allen with the weeks the Bills have been having. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Yeah, you overthinking it. You said, I got Josh Allen as a starter in golf on my bench, but I'm hesitant to start Allen. Bro, do not hesitate to start no Josh Allen. You got a great matchup this week. You got a great matchup. I'm telling you, Josh Allen might end up winning the MVP. I'm not saying he's going to do it, but he has a chance to win MVP. If he could come back and take this team, because they got a chance to win the AFC. If Mahomes them fall off the wagon, they can win the AFC. Play Josh Allen. That's easy, even over golf. The only way I would tell you to play golf if they was playing the Carolina Panthers or something over Josh Allen. I still probably wouldn't tell you to do that. You got to start Josh Allen. He might be the number 1 quarterback this week. Yeah, don't be hesitant. You got a great matchup. The Spectra, he says, hi, sir, I'm new here. I'm glad to see you here, man. Subscribe to the channel. This is cutting edge content. We are a great community. We positive. We keep it positive. We keep it flowing, but we do hold each other accountable. Yep, appreciate you, bro. Craig says, hi there. Hey, do you recommend to put in quarterback this week? Hurts, Prescott, or Purdy? Who do I recommend? Hi there. How do you recommend to put in quarterback this week? Hurts, Prescott, or Purdy? I think it's going to be Hurts. Yeah, it's going to be Hurts. Prescott and Purdy got decent, tough matchups, especially Purdy. I'm going with Hurts. Not sure to sit. Right. Go with Hurts. Play Hurts. Appreciate you, bro. You be safe. Leo says Spears or Parker Washington in the flex. I'm gonna go with Spears. Brian says, drop my phone, guys. Excuse me. Brian says, should I drop Brandon Cooks for Wicks or should I drop Goddard? I have McBride starting. I would drop. You can drop Cooks. You can drop either one of those guys. I would say drop Cooks for Wicks. Now, Jaden Reed might be back next week, so Wicks might not last for you. But if you have a big game, they still gonna get him some targets. So I would drop Cooks. You probably can't get Cooks into your lineup anyway. Goddard, I don't want you to drop Goddard and somebody play him and he end up having a big game just because they're trying to take away Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. So I would say you could drop Cooks for Wicks. Jamar says Wicks or Connor in the flex. Connor. Play Connor. Ronald says, appreciate the detailed answers, my man. So much anxiety playing for the bread these next 2 weeks. Tell me about it. I got to make content and I'm trying to win. I understand, bro. Sal says, thank you, bro. Anytime, Sal. Appreciate you being here. Mr. Sleeper, he says, what up, bro? JSN aboard in the flex. I'm going with JSN. Dollar Bill says, bro, Dak or Stafford? I'm going with Stafford. The Spectre says, do I start Lamar or Mahomes? I'm going with Lamar. He's got a tough matchup. They need Lamar, so he's got to ball out. So the toughest matchups are better for Lamar. He ball out against tough matchups. Ronald says, would you drop Charbonnet for Curtis Samuel? I got Rashad White, Breachall, McKinnon going into the playoffs. Lost Chase. No, you can't drop Charbonnet unless this was your championship week. If you got another week to go, you can't drop Charbonnet. No, I wouldn't do it. I would go ahead and go with Dontavius Wicks if you can. Don't drop Charbonnet. You can't. He's a premium handcuff. You can't drop him. I would rather drop McKinnon before I drop Charbonnet, but that's just me. If you're not going to, because you're going to be starting with Shard White and Breach Hall. That's just me. I don't want to drop a premium handcuff and then something happens to Kenneth Walker. If this was the last week, I would tell you, yeah, it's okay to drop him because you know that Kenneth Walker was going to be healthy. You still got to hold on to these handcuffs one more week. Next week, if everybody's healthy, then you drop all your handcuffs. You drop your handcuffs and you go get optimal premium players that's going to ball out for you that week. This still a stash week. Singletary or Eckler, you got to be Singletary. I hate to say it, but it's championship time. This is not a stud play time. Eckler is proving who he is. If you ball out, so what? You can't chase that. You got to chase what you know. And Singletary has been balling out the last 2 weeks. I mean, like, he carried his team. So I would say Singletary. Let me see how many likes we got, fellas. Let's get the likes up. 20 likes. I'm okay. We can take that. I'll take that. We got 5 more people in here, though. Yes. And you got one more week to go, Ronald. You got one more week to go. That's the only reason why I'm telling you to hold on to Shard. Because if Kenneth Walker go out there and pull a muscle and you drop them, you're going to be upset. And you got an optimal start coming up. Because Seattle going to probably – this is Pete Carroll time. This is why I love Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll played great in the 4th quadrant. I'm looking for some big games out of Geno, DK, JSN, and the running backs. I'm looking for big games out of those guys. Yep, guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. Listen, guys, if you need a consultation, I've probably done, let's say 10, 12 consultations this year, guys. And out of those 12 consultations, I probably had 9 or 10 positive feedbacks where those guys was like, hey, TD, they helped me out a lot. I made some good decisions and they hit. So if you in a tight spot, you need me to you got like 2 or 3 teams you need me to break down, because I can't break it down in the comment section. It takes too much time. So get your consultation, especially if you're a Phenom crew member. If you're a Phenom crew member, it's only $20. That's a $40 value. Zach says start Montgomery, Ty Chandler, or Ezekiel Elliott. If Ramondre Stevenson doesn't come, pause. If he doesn't come back, I would say start Ty Chandler slightly over Ezekiel Elliott if Ramondre Stevenson doesn't come back. Montgomery, he got a tough matchup. The Minnesota Vikings defense is built to stop guys like David Montgomery. The Spectra says, who do I start? Pittman if healthy. I don't think Pittman's going to be healthy, but so I'm not going to include Pittman, but I'm going to say Rice. Okay, so you need one. You need one guy. I would start Mike Evans over Rice, Adams, and Keenan Allen and Ayuk. I would start Mike Evans. He's got a great matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars, which their secondary is not that good. So I would start Mike Evans if I had to choose one guy. Guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. Big D, pause. He says Ingram or Ferguson. Appreciate you being here, bro. I'm going with Ingram. He's been balling out of his mind. I'm going with Ingram. Even though Fergie been balling, I'm going with Ingram. Ronald says, you think Tyreek and Nico will end up playing this week? I think Tyreek will. Nico, I don't know. I doubt it. They might want to hold off on Nico one more week because CJ Stroud ain't there. I don't know. I wouldn't play Nico without CJ Stroud. That's just me. Now, unless I had to, like, I'm not going to start nobody weak over him. But if I had other wide receivers like a Dontavius Wicks, I would start Dontavius Wicks with no Jaden Reed over Nico Collins with no CJ Stroud. The special says, thank you. You got great content. Like and subscribe. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. It's not for everybody. I'm not for everybody. But some people seem to like the content, and I respect that. Big Will says, they saying Tyreek didn't practice today. I still think he plays. I think it's more of a maintenance thing. Now, he could not play, so you got to be ready for that. But I believe that he's going to play this week. He could have played last week, but why would you run him out there and have him hopping around? So I believe he plays. Thank you, bro. Anytime. Glad to see you here. Guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. Right. I agree. I agree. You can't go down with Tyreek was the reason why I lost. Because I didn't have Tyreek, and I'm not saying it just because I didn't have him, but that's just it's just how it happens. I didn't have Tyreek. I kept him moving. I had to start John Mechie in a dynasty league. I don't think so, bro. He said Zach says that Jaden Reed going to play. I don't know. If he plays, then Dontavius Wicks, you got to move him down a little bit. I see you, Red Paint. I see you, bruh. So I don't know. I think we're just gonna have to play it by ear. I will be doing. Let me do some research real quick while we on it right now. Let me do some research. All I got right now is he hurt his toe during the game. So that's 2 days ago. That's the latest news that I have for us. Anything on that injury, any updates. Let me go check Twitter out real quick. Usually Twitter has some really great late news. So let me check out Twitter real quick. So they say it's 18 minutes ago. The Packers are missing 2 wide receivers from practice: Christian Watson and Jaden Reed. They all inside in the rehab group with Darnell Savage and stuff. So they still say he's not practicing. So I'm assuming that he's not going to play. That's just me if he's not practicing. Just like Christian Watson. Dollar Bill says Wednesday for NFL teams are walkthrough practices. Right. They are. But you like to see them be able to at least be like half or just doing a little bit on the side. Guys that have already been hurt, like concussion or you was knocked out the game, I'm assuming you're not going to play until I see you come out and play Friday or even Thursday. Zach says, who to start in the flex? Nico, Jaden Reed, Odell Beckham, Ezekiel Elliott, or should I add Michael Wilson or Wicks and start in the flex? So if Jaden Reed, with Jaden Reed toe, if he practices 2 times this week and they say he okay, yes, I'm willing to play Jaden Reed. But I'm going to take Jaden Reed out of this. I'm going to go with Dontavius Wicks against the Carolina Panthers with no Jaden Reed. That's the main thing. If Jaden Reed comes back and he doesn't really practice, you don't know, I probably would go to Ezekiel Elliott with no Ramondre Stevenson. If Ramondre Stevenson comes back, so that's no Ezekiel Elliott, that's no Jaden Reed, that's no Dontavius Wicks, I might play Nico at that time, but he got to practice. Nico got to get at least 2 practices in. And if he don't practice and he comes and he says the game time decision, I'm just going to go with Odell Beckham. It's going to be the lesser of all the 2 evils, or the lesser of the evils, right? Where all these guys, you don't know, they iffy. All right, guys, I guess I'm going to get ready to get out of here. Y'all guys be safe. Let me check how many likes we got before we get out of here. 24. That's good. I will be going live later today. I will be having a guest, JC from Sports Affiliation. I am part of Sports Affiliation. I'm just so busy. I don't really get to do a lot of content with them, but I am a part of Sports Affiliation. So he will be coming on, and we will be talking about a possible boom from each position and a possible bust from each position for week 16. Siobhan says, what's your thoughts on Hubbard over Monty? I like Hubbard over Monty. Yes, I like Hubbard over Monty. Monty got a tough matchup. Minnesota doesn't fit him good. This is Jahmyr Gibbs' team now. He's took over that backfield. Got Pacheco in the flex, still has a Q next to his name, right? But I like Hubbard over Monty. Rashard White is my other running back. Right. Oh, yeah, I would definitely play Rashard White. You know you playing him. But I would play Hubbard. Hubbard and White. Yep, I see you, Red Paint. All right, well, guys, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. Y'all guys be safe. I see y'all later. Peace. We'll be doing a live later.
bag, you ain't getting shit. You say wanna fuck, but now she see a nigga lit.
Country for life in this bitch.
Okay, turn me up. They don't want no smoke, I'm in my bag. Bitch, I'm rolling up. They say this shit hot. Hot, bitch, I'm burning up. Yeah, let's talk some business. Ain't no money, I ain't showing up. Don't know how to act. A bunch of country niggas pulling up. Okay, turn me up. Now they say they want that country shit. Okay, now turn me up. Now they see I be that energy. I make them turn me up. Yeah, I know they tryna finish me, but it just turn me up.
Turn me up, yeah.
I'm like Block Boy, look alive, look alive. I'm married to that money and I keep her by my side. They thought I wouldn't be shit, so why they face look so surprised. You ain't a real nigga, you just pussy in the skies. Whoa, yeah, look at a nigga.